Hey, what's going on? E. Jones, bottom to the top hoops.
Your boy, Black Elvis, we in the building.
Yo, man, shout out to you, L. Playing through the pain. I know you're not feeling so great, but still on the podcast, pushing through it like a trooper. I appreciate you, brother.
For sure, brother, for sure.
Yo, man, definitely want to shout out everybody. Reach that 10K subscribers, man, and still climbing. Make sure you consume the podcast on Apple TV, Spotify, and YouTube. Check out that BCom website and a lot of things coming soon with BCom TV and a lot of announcements. So, Al, we're going to tackle two subjects today.
Mm-hmm.
First one is, kids getting back into school, the ramification on sports. So, right now, the deadline's been pushed back to October 1st.
Yes.
It started out, I believe, September 11th, pushed back to the 21st, and now October 1st. What does that say to you, bro?
Schools are not ready.
Right.
They don't have a system in place for these kids.
Yeah. And working in the school system, I'm sure you get a chance to see that firsthand.
Absolutely.
With the consultant work that you do. So here's my question to you. If you were in charge, what would you do?
Definitely wait till at least January to see how the numbers go, because remember, we're about to enter flu season. So right. You want to see how the numbers go during flu season, because you already know they're going to shoot up.
So you saying go all remote until January?
Absolutely.
I think that's the safest bet, man. I mean, it hurts the economy. It obviously affects jobs, but you want to talk about overall safety and the safest plan. That's the only thing we can do, right, is keep each other from congregating. And, there's going to be obviously some things transpiring with the election coming around November 3rd and the current president speaking of a vaccine coming. So that's a TBD, and we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, that affects sports too. So no school, no sports. So kids are missing seasons. Football season should be happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And college football and the NFL is going on.
Yeah, but my thing is football's a contact sport. How are you going to play football? It just proves that they really don't care about these kids, bottom line, man. And it's about money.
Yeah, it's tough. They might claim it's outdoors.
Hey, but if you're a Louisville and you got a contract for $280 million for 7 years, you're going to get those kids out on that field.
Well, those people on the corporate offices, they need to see that revenue come in. And if I'm Under Armour or Nike and I'm sponsoring these schools, I just recently saw that there was some pushback with UCLA and their Under Armour contract. They signed a huge deal, and Under Armour wasn't doing so well, and I think there was a little bit of controversy with that. But here's the thing, El. The one group that's getting it right now is the NBA.
Yeah.
And the bubble has proceeded with no cases, and they spent
no cases reported anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, that's true too. And they spent the money, and the players have played. So no players have been sick, because obviously the players have played, and if they got sick, they couldn't play. So, they've done a good job at creating this bubble, and right now we're in a space where it's the NBA playoffs, a lot of intensity, and most recently they came out with the vote for the MVP. First reaction, Al.
What? Like, remember Lil Jon? No way.
You feel LBJ got the shaft?
He got snubbed. I mean, all right, let me just make my point.
Okay.
MVP of the season, I totally get it. What you do during the season must trickle into the playoffs.
Not necessarily.
Giannis is gone.
Not necessarily, because what they're voting on is just those 60 games currently, right?
No, I get that,
But for your perspective, you
how you
got
the
to include the
MVP and
playoffs.
you get bumped first round?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's take a deeper dive.
Mm-hmm.
Most valuable player, not the best player, not the most skilled player, most valuable.
To
That
their
means
team.
to their team. So that means if you remove that player, what would the team be without that player? Let's look at it, right? Starting lineup prospectively, if LeBron didn't play with the Lakers, what would that be?
Lakers would be bum juice.
Let's look at the lineup though. Is it safe to say AD is a top 10 player in the league?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is it safe to say that Kuzma is probably being stunted a little bit by LeBron James coming to the Lakers in terms of his growth?
Yeah.
So he would take LeBron's place. And we know from history, he averaged 18 before LeBron came.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put 18 and 6 in the books. Rondo, we saw what he did before he went to the Lakers. So he would essentially be the point.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you need a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
You play KCP at the 2. You play JaVale McGee and Ant Davis. Ant Davis now becomes the star of the team. He probably gets a few more shots. He now averages, 28 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
So your starting lineup is Rondo, KCP, Kuzma, Ant Davis, and McGee. Playoff team?
No. No.
Wow. That team is not better than the teams in the playoffs right now, or the teams that made the playoffs?
Well, I mean, which team?
You don't think that they were better than Portland?
No. And the only reason I say that is because there's a presence that LeBron brings.
Well, AD led a team to the playoffs that was less talented in New Orleans.
Okay, I'm going to say it again, E. There's a presence that LeBron brings.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying to you is you're saying they wouldn't make the playoffs, and I'm saying in that same Western Conference.
Well, no. Let me stop being funny. I'm trying to be funny right now. They would definitely make the playoffs.
Okay.
Now they wouldn't be in the Western Conference Finals.
I would agree, but they would have a superstar, and they would have a really good starting five.
Well, let's just look at the track record of the NBA. LeBron James gave everyone the blueprint, whether they've seen it or not, when he went to Miami with Wade and Bosh. So he's proven in the league you have to have at least 2 players with a major all-star, to even compete.
Well, they did it in Boston too. They did, Big 3. So now let's look at the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the second best player after Giannis?
I guess Middleton.
Okay. Let's say their starting 5 is Middleton, Brook Lopez, let's put DiVincenzo, let's put Eric Bledsoe, and Wes Matthews. It's their starting 5.
Mm-hmm.
How do they stack up against that Lakers team we just mentioned? Absent of LeBron, absent of Antetokounmpo, who's a bigger loss?
Antetokounmpo.
So
for them,
again, they have the best record in the league.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of an asterisk because they're in the East.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start talking most valuable, the bigger loss could be argued that it was Antetokounmpo, and he adds more value. So now let's go into the numbers. Al, what was LeBron's numbers this year?
Let's see. LeBron's numbers was 25, 8, and 10. That's
Now,
10 assists, 8 rebounds.
and I believe he averaged 1.2 steals, and he averaged 0.5 blocks. So the fact that he led this is what I'm going to say. The fact that he led the league in assists at this age is unprecedented. You talk about 17 years in the league. I might have gave him my vote just for that fact alone. Now, it might be emotional, but I just think that's something that we have to respect and honor. The 25 points and 8 rebounds is nothing to shake a stick at either, right?
Yeah.
You know, first place in the West, big turnaround from last year to this year in terms of wins. Obviously, different makeup of the team, the addition of AD, Danny Green, that's a big acquisitions, you know, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I was going to say Howard.
So now you look at Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
60 wins, 30 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. The problem, or what I took exception to, is the disparity, right? If LeBron got 42% of the votes and Antetokounmpo got 48, I would have been okay. Antetokounmpo got 85% of the first place votes.
Crazy.
So then you wonder, is it hate? Do they not respect LeBron? Do they just give Antetokounmpo that much credit because he's doing it with lesser talent and getting the results in the regular season? Because I don't know, matter of fact, I do know, Antetokounmpo has not proven himself to be a clutch player on the big stage.
Yeah.
In the playoffs and in the Olympics with his team, with Greece. He shrunk in that. So I don't want to be unfair and judge him based on anything outside of the regular season, but it's reality. I got to look at it because it's a part of the equation.
Yeah.
I think the disparity was just too much. What was your thoughts on that?
I think so too. Giannis, let me just say my opinion of Giannis. Giannis is an awesome talent, man.
Yep.
7 foot. He can do anything a guard can do. Is a high IQ. He understands the game. However, you know, when you're talking about the GOAT, like, you got to give him his props while he's here. Like, you know, the reason why I say that is
current GOAT.
Yeah, well, LeBron's 5, 36?
Yeah, he's a current GOAT.
Come on.
Active GOAT, sorry. Active GOAT.
But he's still doing that at 36, and you want to compare it to a 25-year-old?
Yeah. You're right, El. You're right.
You know, big picture, like the whole big picture of this thing is, like, give that man his flowers, man, because, like, he's 36, 35. He's on his way out, and he's still dominating.
At a really high level.
Yeah. Now,
So,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I just feel like maybe it's his consciousness. Maybe it's the fact that, you know, he's not afraid to speak his opinion. Maybe it's the fact that he might have ruffled some feathers along the way.
Well, always know this. Always know, because now we're living in a world, everything is being exposed. You know, so, you know, in those pillars, in the meetings, when people are voting, you don't know who's there. And when you stand for consciousness, you don't know who's behind those closed doors voting. They're like, screw that guy.
You know what? I just think there's no way that the people who have those votes can say that it's 85-15. And you well know, I am a fan of LeBron James and what he has done for the game of basketball, what he's done off the court, his physical talent. I might not agree with everything he does and how he do it, but his work ethic and his production can't be questioned. And this was a standout year, and you know, the fact that he's never led the NBA in scoring, and he does that in his 17th year. That's to be applauded.
Come
And,
on.
you know, it's. I think if he was ever going to get another one, this was the year.
This is it.
Because those young up and comers they on their heels.
They hungry.
So, do you think that if it was closer, you would have been able to just say, "All right, I see."
Absolutely. That what threw me left is, how does Giannis get 85% of the votes? Like, are y'all not watching the Lakers?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Very lopsided, man. Very lopsided.
But like I said, what is Giannis doing for social justice?
I couldn't even tell you, Al, but I mean, I know that right now in these days and times, LeBron James is leading the charge. So if he ain't the MVP of the league, he's the MVP of consciousness, social justice, reform, and education of players. So that MVP to me, LeBron, I don't know if you're watching, but that MVP is bigger than the one that they give out in the NBA. So keep doing what you do. We appreciate you and we respect it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Al, you got any last thoughts, man?
Last thoughts, man. Stay focused, stay safe out here, y'all. The corona is about to be flu season, and it's about to get real in these streets.
Yeah, man, definitely stay safe. Make sure you're practicing good hygiene, social distancing, wear your mask. We don't have a vaccine. We don't have any cure. But what we do have is mitigation techniques, and that's wearing a mask, and that's the thing that could best protect you. So make sure you do that. Yo,
yes.
Thank you on behalf of myself, Jerry Ice, D. Jones. Who you shouting out, L?
Shout out God.
Yes, sir. City Legends, bottom to the top hoops. We out.